It's your girl Euphoria, breathwork goddess, spiritual guide, intuitive healer, intuitive dreamer, licensed cosmetologist specializing in locks, natural hair retention, and also wigs. Herpes is my spiritual compass. I'll highlight more of this later on in the show, but I wanted to go ahead and tell you guys my herpes journey story. So for a lot of you guys, you may not know, I've been advocating the herpes positive community for the last 3 years. My herpes story pretty much started with me at the age of 17 going off to college. And when I went off to college, everything was fine. Everything was great. I had a boyfriend back home. I had friends. Everything was perfect. So I thought. I started getting these bumps on my hands. And what's up to everyone tapping in? I appreciate you all tapping in. I started getting these bumps on my hands and I couldn't figure out what they were. I went to the clinic at my school. They tested it. They said it was dermatitis. I said, cool. What's up, everyone tapping in? So they went and they tested the bumps on my hands. They told me that was dermatitis. After that, I went even further. What's up to everyone tapping in? Hey, everyone. After I got the bumps tested, I thought everything was cool. They gave me some cream for it, whatever. I then started having these outbreaks on the inside of my mouth that felt like canker sores, and I couldn't figure out what they were. The side of my tongue was swollen. What's up, Manny? The side of my tongue was swollen. The tip of my tongue was swollen. The inside of my cheeks were sore. I couldn't figure out what it was because every time I heard about herpes, I always thought cold sores on the outside of the lips, right? So I went to the hospital. I went to the Holy Cross in Maryland. I got tested. They went and they straight up said, you got herpes. Here's a pamphlet. See you later. I was 17 years old, sitting right next to my mom in the emergency room, and all they could give me was a freaking pamphlet and say, whatever you do, don't kiss anybody when you're having an outbreak, and that's it. Read the pamphlet. I was devastated, y'all. I'm talking about straight up like, I don't know what I'm going to do. How I'm going to tell my boyfriend that I have herpes. So many things were running through my mind. Have you mind, my mother is sitting right across from me as I'm being told by a doctor that I have herpes in my mouth. Crazy, right? So my mom is just looking at me. I'm looking at my mom. I don't know what to do at this point. I call my boyfriend. I'm like, boyfriend, I have herpes. Boyfriend is like, I love you. I don't care. I was a bit thrown off by that, but back then, because I was just so happy to be accepted by someone, I didn't really care. You were 16, oh my gosh, so that this story may resonate with you. I just really didn't know what to do at that point, right? So life goes on, my boyfriend's fine with it, everything's fine, and I didn't think about disclosing to anyone, I didn't think about telling my story, I didn't think about any of these things. It wasn't until later on, about 2016, I called myself hanging out with my friend, having a good time. This guy, he's attractive. I say, you know what? I want to, for the first time, have me a whole entire rendezvous, one night stand. This is after being diagnosed orally. Because remember, they said I had sores on the inside of my mouth. That was herpes 1. So they said HSV 1. So then I go with this guy. I say I want to have a one night stand. We use protection. And I thought I was going to be good. Condom and everything. I did all the stuff I was supposed to do. Right? Wrong. 3 days later, I had a bump in my butt. Y'all, I'm telling you, I could not sit down. I just couldn't sit down. When I peed, it didn't hurt, but I couldn't sit down, and I didn't know what this bump was. So I immediately went to the emergency room, or the urgent care room for Kaiser. I go, I get tested. No. I go, they look at it, they say that it looks like folliculitis. You're fine. They thought it was just a hair bump. Because folliculitis is a fancy name for ingrown hair, right? And this is in my bum. And what's up to everyone tapping in? So pretty much after that, right? I go in. Oh no, the doctor, he says, you know what? Let me go ahead and swab this and test you just in case. So he takes the swab. Something in him tells him to swab me. And life goes on. For 8 months, I'm fine. They finally call me back and they're like, hey, it's time for you to come in and get a pap smear. I come back in to get my pap smear done. Everything's supposed to be fine. Everything's supposed to be cool, right? I go get my pap smear. And the nurse, before I actually get the pap smear, who's doing my vitals and doing my blood pressure, she said, did you know that you tested positive for herpes? And if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the question box down there. So, did you know that you tested positive for herpes? I'm like, when? Because I remember back in the day, back when I got tested when I was younger, yeah, that made sense, of course. She's like, when you came into the ER 8 months ago, I said, 8 months ago? You talking about, do you know how many people I actually had been with since then? I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was having a hot girl summer. Not crazily hot girl summer, but I was having fun. I was like 2016, early 20s maybe? So that's when I found out that I had genital herpes, or rather for me, I just had a bump in my butt. So I'm like, I got herpes in my butt. Oh my God. I didn't know how to take it. And again, for 8 months, I was fine. But after that day, the doctor telling me that, oh, I appreciate you too, baby. That after the doctor telling me that, fast forward a month later, I started having outbreaks like crazy. I'm talking about outbreak after outbreak after outbreak. This is one thing that I want to stress to you guys. When people tell you that it is not necessary to get tested, they are lying. Or the doctors are saying, we don't want to test you for your herpes. It's because so many people test positive for herpes. Over 80% of the entire population of human beings on Earth have some form of herpes. 80%. So that means, do the math. 7 billion people in the world, 80% of those 7 billion people have herpes. Most of it is oral herpes, which is cold sores. Cold sores. Also, they say that black women count for 15% of all genital cases. So keep in mind, this is not something that is just, oh, that person over there, it could never be me. 80% of the population has some form. Cold sores are herpes. You can have a cold sore on your mouth and give someone fellatio or head or whatever you want to call it, and they will have genital herpes. It's not a game, guys. So for me, I didn't know whether it was because the guy had gave me oral or whether it was because he had actual, sex with me that I ended up having this herpes outbreak. Because again, like I told you, we use protection. We use a condom. So that even alone will let you know, using condoms is not safe. I want you guys to understand how serious it is that you go get people tested before you lay down and have sex with them. I don't care how good it look, how good it feel, the vibes, all of that. Question, didn't you just post a negative test result? Is that test accurate? I did test a negative HSV2 result. And that's another thing I want to clarify. People will tell you that HSV1 is only above the belt and HSV2 is only below the belt. Wrong. You can have HSV1 above and below, and you can have HSV2 above and below. So have in mind, HSV1 is not just here. I have only HSV1 in my body, but I have outbreaks, or I've had outbreaks in my mouth and genitally. So I only have HSV1 in my body, but I have it in multiple spaces and locations. I also had chickenpox at the age of 2, and I had shingles at the age of 10. Shingles is the remnants of chickenpox because the same virus, it stores itself in your spine, in your nervous system. It's there in your nervous system. It is a virus, it is a parasite in your nervous system. The sacral ganglion is responsible for herpes below the belt, and the trigeminal ganglion is responsible for herpes above the belt. And then there's it's an octal nerve. Basically, herpes in your eyes. Do you have anything about, if you have any questions, drop them in the question box so I can get to everybody's question, because I don't want to miss anyone's question. I'm going to answer one question real quick. How can you use or have a bump how can you have a bump when you use protection? Well, there's a good question actually. You can get a bump from using protection because you can get herpes on your inner thigh. A man could have it on his scrotum. A woman could have herpes on her butt cheek. So that's another thing that you need to look into. Like, you don't have to just have herpes on just your genitals. And if that rubs up against something, because again, I had the outbreak in my bum. But then when I started having outbreaks, I started getting them genitally. Strange, I know, but I did see a question that asked, do I have the same outbreak in the same spot? In my mouth, usually on the sides of my tongue and the tip of my tongue, yes. And like on the inside of my cheek, yes. When it comes to the genital, usually it's on one labia or the other. And maybe sometimes it might be I might potentially get something on my rectum area. But it varies. What's up, you guys? I see everyone's happening. If you have any questions, drop them in the question box. Do you know anything about having no symptoms? Yes, I did see Sunshine Lady tapped in. You can have what is called asymptomatic herpes. Asymptomatic herpes is when you have herpes in your bloodstream, but you don't have any symptoms. I actually used to work with a woman by the name of Jones-Spratt Jones who was asymptomatic. So there are people who are going around who don't have any symptoms who can give you herpes. That's why it is so important, you guys, to ensure that you are getting your partners tested before you lay down with them. I don't care how good the vibes are. I don't care how fine they are. I don't care if you got fingered. I don't care what's going on. If you feel like you're about to have sex with a person or the conversation is going there, bring up getting tested together. Both of you guys need to get tested. Get accurate paperwork within the time frame. Meaning from the day that you started talking until the day you decide you want to have sex, the test results need to be within that window. I don't want to see test results from before I started talking to you. I don't want to see test, because someone can have sex yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So you must get these people's test results. What's up to everyone's happening? You must get the test results before you lay down in bed with these people. I'm telling you, because I was a victim of it. That's how I ended up getting my second case of herpes. The first time I got herpes, I honestly don't know where it came from, because herpes is also a virus that can lay in your immune system, in your nervous system dormant for years. Have you mind, like I said, I had chickenpox and shingles. So when you have chickenpox, it stores itself in your spine. And if you get stressed out or get re-exposed to the virus, you can outbreak with shingles, which looks just like herpes, clusters of fever bumps only on the right side of the body. Usually people who are above the age of 50 get it, but I got it at the age of 10 because my brother came around me with chickenpox. These are all viruses in the same family. It's all a varicella strain, right? So when it comes to that 80% of the population that has some form of herpes, they're usually talking about cold sores or genital herpes, the ones that are contagious from sexual acts. They don't usually count chickenpox and shingles in that 80%. So again, understand how serious that is. Understand how needed it is for you to do your due diligence. And if you're going to get a Carfax checkup on a car before you take it off the lot, then you better go get a Carfax on that D, and bro, you better go get a Carfax on the cat. Okay? Y'all want to drive around with these Hellcats, all right? And you going to get your Carfax for that. Make sure you get the Carfax on the other cat. So if they are positive, what's the best way to protect yourself? If you have a partner that is positive, and again, please drop the comments and the questions in the question box, because I feel like I might have missed a few. But if you have a partner that is positive, but you're not positive, the best way to protect yourself is transparency and honesty. Y'all have to communicate with each other. You have to be able to the partner has to want to communicate with you, hey, I'm having an outbreak right now. We can't do anything, you know? Because if there's an outbreak, absolutely nothing. Don't do anything. I don't care if they say I could put something on top of it. I could put a dental dam on it so you could still eat it. No. Because that outbreak could have rubbed up on another piece of skin or something like that. It's just too risky. And this is me as a person with herpes telling you, if there's an outbreak, no sex. However, I can also tell you this. As long as you and your partner have trust between yourselves, y'all are willing to have the conversation, you can still have sex with someone who is positive. Very much so. I have been having sex since I was for a long time. I'm 30 now. But I have not transmuted this virus to anyone. There's only one potential case where I might have, and that was because I was having an outbreak and someone decided to give me a massage. And they slipped their hands in my underwear when I told them no. But they ended up getting what was on their hand tested, and it said that it was eczema, which is still in the herpes family. Don't beat me up. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what it is. So that was the only time I potentially actually transmuted the disease the virus. And, you know, he was blessed. I was blessed that it didn't happen that way. But if you are a positive person wanting to have sex with a person who is negative, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is always, 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 if you had an outbreak, wait 2 to 4 weeks after your outbreak to try and have sex with your partner, because there's a time window called viral shedding. When it comes to viral shedding, it is the skin shedding off the virus where the outbreak was. So the dry skin has to peel off, all the layers. Our skin has so many different layers. The layers have to pretty much shed the virus off of it. So while that's going on, you don't want that skin to rub up on the skin, because herpes is contracted through skin to skin contact, okay? What's up to everyone tapping in? Herpes is transmuted through skin to skin contact. Skin to skin. Not through saliva to nose, skin to skin. My virus is on my finger. I rub my nose. I put my finger in my nose. I put my finger on my outbreak. Skin to skin. Skin cells rubbing on skin cells, infecting skin cells, so it can get in the nervous system. Not from fluids touching skin. So again, it's just very important as a partner who's positive to just have clear communication and watch out for that viral shedding window. But you can still have sex. I still have sex. I still, receive fellatio, can give fellatio, even though I have herpes in my mouth. It's just a matter of being honest. Because I've been dealing with this post that people keep commenting on, where everyone's like, oh, you're putting shame on people. If you have cold sores, you shouldn't have to disclose. If you have cold sores, you need to disclose. Again, if you have a cold sore, what's up, everyone's happening? If you have a cold sore on your mouth, you need to disclose to people that you have herpes. That's it. I don't want to shame anybody, but if you literally have a cold sore, you should disclose, because that is herpes and you can transfer the virus to someone else. That's not fair to that person. Now, of course, what's up, Dr. Missions? Y'all tapping with Dr. Missions. He has a really good detox. So if y'all want to hurry up and get that virus out of your body, or even put it to sleep, because that is a thing that you can do, put your virus to sleep. He has awesome detox products, that at least from what I've seen. What can I use for scarring on the outbreak site? So it's been a long, long time, y'all. I ain't brought these things out in a long, long time. But my girl Belize Spivey, y'all can go follow her. She also is a herpes advocate. She has the Speed Me Up Cream, the Speed Up Cream. This is an awesome product. It has all the herbs that you need for your skin to get rid of your herpes outbreak. So if you even have an outbreak, it's good to use this. But also, if you have, what's up, everyone's happening? Also, if you have scarring, this has a good shea butter base to it, so that will help with the scarring as well for your herpes outbreaks. For external use, so outside the mouth, genitals, and on your hands, but not for anything inside the mouth. But yes, tap in with Belize Spivey for the Speed Me Up Cream for your herpes outbreaks. Now, also, she has a wonderful soap that you can use as well. And she also has a spray, which is on my dresser over there. I want to get up and get it. But if you have any itching or anything like that genitally, spray. I even have used it when I had I think I used Nair on my armpits and it was burning real bad one summer. I sprayed that stuff on there. Itch went away instantaneously. Her products are awesome and they're all natural. And it's a black-owned business, y'all. Come on. Support us black women. Okay? Support. Is the cream linked in your bio? It actually used to be. I would say y'all go follow her on IG, or I'll talk to her and I'll get another link for you guys so that you guys can go ahead and tap in, because this product is awesome. Also, another product, I haven't used this in a long time as well, but FemiClear is also good too. You can get this off of the store shelves in CVS. This is also a good product too. It has a cooling effect to it, so it'll seem like a sensation, but it's not all natural. So, we have two options. We have the all natural, and then we have the store shelf. Where did the thing just go? Then we have what you can buy off the store shelf. So, all natural, which you can get at the stores at CVS. And they also have one that's for men's outbreaks as well. So, I'm telling you guys, if you have herpes, I just want you guys to get out here and be in this. Like, I literally have made a whole song about herpes, and this is my most listened to song on Apple Music. It's called Herpes or Not. You can go to the link in my bio, go listen to the song. It's me, Shana, and Amber, the women who helped me get into my advocacy, actually. I didn't get to that part of the story. Where if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even be up here on this platform speaking about my herpes right now. So that's another thing. Oh, what's up, Dolores? Y'all tapping with him. He has awesome beats. But Shana and Amber, they actually wrote this book here. Trigger warning. It's not your herpes. You don't love yourself. It's a trigger warning. You basically journal through this book, and it asks you different prompts. Like, for instance, right here, what role are you playing in your own trauma? Or what does trauma mean to you? Trauma is something we've all experienced in our lives at some point, and it affects each of us differently. As you reflect on your answers to the questions, ask yourself, where did your definition of trauma come from? Awesome prompts that can help you really tap into what is really causing you to have outbreaks. Because when we get down to the nitty gritty, and what I learned through my herpes experience is I get outbreaks when I feel like I'm stressed. That's why at the beginning of this I said herpes is my spiritual compass. I actually am so happy I have herpes, because if I have an outbreak, I know something's off. It could be a relationship that's off, a friendship that's off. It could be my schedule's off. I'm not getting enough sleep. What's up, Malcolm? He also has really good beats if y'all want to make some music as well. Y'all tap in with him. But it could be anything, guys. Anything that's off, that makes my nervous system feel triggered. I'm getting an outbreak, right? And when you learn to finally self-regulate, you can kind of control your outbreaks. So I'm actually moving into the space of now doing yoga, and I'll be building a whole entire institute for you guys to come join, so that you can join me and I can help you heal your nervous system so that your herpes outbreaks are not driving you up the wall. Because let me show you guys something. As I mentioned to you guys, they prescribed me antivirals because after 8 months of not knowing I had herpes, the moment they told me, my stress levels went up and I started having outbreaks. And that's how we ended up with this pill bottle right here. You're amazing. Thank you for helping the community. Of course, love. That's how we ended up with this pill bottle right here. This pill bottle was prescribed to me in 2019. So this all is expired. I have not used these antivirals because I noticed when I was taking these antivirals, they started telling me things like, you're probably going to get depressed. You're probably going to be stressed. I'm like, hold on. I didn't feel any of these feelings until y'all told me I had herpes and I started having outbreaks. It's like the second your mind ingest the idea of having herpes and your mind starts thinking you're herpes positive, that's when you start feeling the effects of herpes trauma. You understand? So for me, it's very much a mind, body, spirit understanding of self that herpes brought me to. And if it wasn't for herpes, I really wouldn't have gone deep into my spiritual journey. I wouldn't have wanted to meditate. I wouldn't have started doing breath work. I wouldn't have started even public speaking, or even speaking my mind on the internet. Because I used to just get on here and just look at other people's pages and post pictures of me and my son. I never thought I'd be using my platform, Euphoria, with 9 A's and 1 underscore, to talk to people about herpes so that they could heal through their journey and feel loved. Because my thing was always, here we are heard, seen, and loved. Okay, not just heard for your outbreak story, but you're seen as a person. I don't want anyone to come here and think, oh, because of my herpes, I gotta shrink this small in the room. No, I see you, sis. We here. You can still be a boss. I don't want to curse. But you could be a queen. You could be anything. You could be a wife. You could be a mother. I have an 11-year-old son. And I know plenty of people who have herpes that have had children vaginally that did not transfer their virus to their kids. Euphoria, we still love you. Speak your truth. Oh, I appreciate you. And yes, when you just start living and not thinking of it, being yourself, you don't get outbreaks. Exactly. And that's what I want to bring more to the front. I need people to understand that this is a mental virus. Yes, you can eat all the foods and do the alkaline and do the this and do the that. But until you heal your mind from getting traumatized and triggered every time you hear someone say STD, every time you try to date someone and you get too afraid to tell them about your herpes, or every time you feel because of the fact you have the virus, you don't deserve the same treatment as someone else, you are stressing out your nervous system. We are our own enemies in this. Okay? So that's what made me come on the platform and start talking to people live about this. Like, for instance, so after I had my genital outbreak, I started going to work and I started my spiritual journey. I started researching Buddhism and things because I was in a museum that had all these different kinds of religions, right? In the museum. What's up, Miss Erica? So I was in this museum and I was looking at all these spiritual artifacts, but then I started realizing the more and more I was getting in tune and getting in touch with all this stuff, I started having outbreaks again. And I started having people around me talk about herpes and STDs and stuff all of a sudden. And I was like, are these people in my mind? But you know, until you're spiritual and you're aware, you don't know what this all means. You don't realize your mind is projecting you back to you at the time when you're first starting your spiritual journey. So I'm like, oh my God, like I'm feeling nervous about it. So something in me says, look, bruh, just go online and tell your story. Or no, I'm lying. I started scrolling one day, and that's when Shana popped up. She was completely nude. She had STD positive something written on her, and she was in a pose like this. And I was like, hold on, this girl got herpes written on her shirt? Herpes goddess. Hold on, I'm going up in here. I'm doing some research. And sis was educating me. So that's the beautiful thing about coming into something. People teach you so that you can teach other people a different version of what they taught you. Because see, she taught me remedies, minerals and things I needed to take, because she has her bachelor's in food science, I believe, or something like that. Please, Shana, don't beat me up. But she was given the facts on the minerals and things the body needs to help heal the herpes. And also the confidence, because then she was alongside the confidence queen Amber. So both of them teamed up, and they were helping me, or they were ushering me into this public speaking about my herpes. I see everyone tapping in. So when it came to those two women, they were literally putting me up on their shoulders like, all right, we got you, Euphoria. Come on, we gonna support you. And I didn't even understand how important support was back then. I wasn't spiritually aware fully, so I didn't even understand what they were doing for me. You understand? Like, I didn't understand the blessing that they were giving me by allowing me on a platform with them. Like, I'm getting a little teary-eyed and shit. But I didn't understand the value of it, because back then I wasn't spiritually aware, so I didn't get it. But the community felt so whole. It felt good to be there. Because I'm like, I feel like I can be myself in a room full of people looking at me for the first time since I was 17 years old. And when I met them, I think I was 3 years ago? I was about 26, 27 when I moved here. So about 27 years old, 3 years ago when I met them. For the first time in 10 years, I finally got to be myself. Y'all know how good that felt? For the first time, all the weight of the world was off my shoulders. I didn't know how to handle it and manage it, but it just felt so good. And then I was also on Clubhouse, so I was looking at this guy by the name Breath Messiah Zay. He started bringing breath work to the table, so I started focusing on breath work. I even have it right here. Literally, old pieces of paper from like us planning out our whole entire, look, Positive Women Wednesdays, 6 to 7 a.m., same content, everybody's name, like, this is why I'm here. It takes support from other women to uplift you. So that's why I'm here now, wanting to support a community of women and uplift them in their journey through herpes and mental health awareness. Because herpes isn't just about what you eat. Herpes isn't just about the clothes you wear. Herpes doesn't look like anything. It doesn't have an idea. It doesn't have an identity. Herpes can be on a baby who got a kiss from grandma. Herpes can be on a grandma who got a cold sore. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can have herpes. So what's next? I'm currently building out a community for you guys to join. The community will be mainly based in yoga classes and breathwork classes. That is my main focus, because I do understand how much diet does affect herpes. I do understand how much eating habits and things like that and sleeping habits affect herpes. But the main thing that we're doing in this community that I'm building is yoga. I'm actually getting yoga certified, and I will be yoga certified within the next 8 weeks, guys. I'm so excited to start this journey. I've been stretching and releasing tension and stress within my hips, and it's been helping me. So I figured, why not take this to the next level and go ahead and get certified in it? And I'm building a community of people to go on this journey with me. What were people's reactions when you disclosed? I will say, for the most part, when I disclosed, what's up to everyone tapping in? When I disclosed back in the day, I usually always get positive responses for me, because I've had it where someone is like, oh, when it comes to disclosure, I wasn't even going to tell you I had herpes. I actually have it too. I'm like, you weren't going to tell me. That lets me know to back away from you, because you're not an honest person. Thank you, Sunshine Lady. I appreciate you. But that lets me know to back away from you, because you're not being transparent with me. So if you would lie about something that could potentially harm me for the rest of my life, not that herpes is harmful, but you understand what I'm saying? Had I not been herpes positive, you could have altered my life for eternity. And you're not even telling me that. You thought that was just something to just sweep under the rug. So disclosure will actually tell you a lot about a person more than it will tell you about yourself. And then on other times when I've had my disclosures, I've had people come to me and they're like, thank you so much for telling me. I appreciate you. Like, I actually want to date you more because you were honest. The average girl out here would have just burned me or just did something to me. I appreciate you being honest with me and telling me about your herpes. So understand that when you disclose to someone, you're actually building a line of trust and communication with that person. It's not about you being embarrassed. What's up, LaRue? It's not about you being embarrassed. It's not about you feeling shameful. It's about you building trust. And that's the main thing that I know everybody is looking for these days, especially when it comes to our bodies. So understand how important that is when you disclose to people. I have 2 more questions down here, I see. Okay, so it's hard for me to know when I have an outbreak because I never had any symptoms, so I always had a hard time understanding it. Okay, answer that question. That comes to, that's regarding asymptomatic herpes. How do you receive head if you're asymptomatic? That's actually a good question. So what I've noticed is, right, if you feel like you're going to get jiggy with your partner, you can always get tested right before. You can request it from your doctor, any clinic, and say, I want to get a herpes test. If your numbers are significantly high, meaning above 0.9, you're probably having an active outbreak or you're having high levels, which means you can transfer, right? But if you're below that number, if you're like a 1.0 or 1.9 or lower, that's good, and that's actually, you know, a safer time to do stuff because you don't have the virus, you don't have the antibodies in your body fighting the virus actively. The number goes above a certain number. I believe it's a 1 point. I have to look back at my paperwork for that, but above a certain number, and I'll put it in the caption down below. Above a certain number, that means that you're having an active outbreak internally, whether you're having a symptom or not. Because sometimes asymptomatic actually could mean that you're having an outbreak in your throat. Sometimes asymptomatic could mean that you're having an outbreak on your cervix or in your vaginal tract for women. So sometimes we think we're asymptomatic, but really we're actually having a herpes outbreak in a place that we can't even see. It could be in your throat. It could be on your cervix. It could be, you get what I'm saying? But you can still have or still receive head, fellatio, while being asymptomatic. And also they have dental dams as well. If you're very scared or you're very like precautious, there's something called dental dams. There's actually I forget, she's somewhere on my page. I'll tag her in this as well. But there's actually a rubber underwear that you can wear so that you don't have to like hold it in place. But it's a special kind of dental dam underwear that you put on that are rubber, that are very thin, something like a resistance band, that kind of texture, that kind of thin rubber, where you can still receive all kinds of oral while being protected. So yeah, but yeah, guys, I mean, I just can't wait to keep sharing more and more information with you all and just building a community where we all can feel safe discussing our herpes, where we can all feel heard, seen, and loved discussing our herpes. Because people nowadays, like, there was a picture of a few celebrities, I don't want to put their names out there, but it was them, their 3-way, and all 3 of them had an outbreak on their lip, and it's like, see what happens when you go swap and spit? Like, putting so much shame on the fact that they all had herpes versus like understanding, like, wow, this is actually so common that it's actually happening in higher up places and spaces as well. So again, we shouldn't be ashamed when some of the people that we love, know, praise, listen to their music, don't judge them, use them as our role models, are actively dealing with this virus as well. So you shouldn't feel shame when 80% of the world is dealing with the virus. Like, please come out of the dark and come into the light and be yourself. It is the season, especially in 2024, where you need to come out of the dark and be yourself, especially regarding herpes. Like, it's so many things going on, but please come out of the dark, guys. There's no reason to hide from us. No, if someone judges you for your herpes, as my saying goes, and y'all looked at my bio, it says rejection is redirection. And I also have the t-shirts. Okay? Rejection is redirection. These are also in kid sizes and adult sizes and men's sizes. But if someone rejects you, they just turning you around so that you could find the person for you. And I also have hoodies as well. If you're still in the hoodie season and you want to get a hoodie, I got that for you as well. But yeah, rejection's redirection, guys. When it comes to disclosure, somebody don't like your herpes or can't stand it or can't take it, that's their loss. You're a great person. Your herpes doesn't determine whether or not you're good or bad. Your herpes doesn't make you less of a person. Your herpes actually just makes you, for me, like I said, a more spiritually aware person. Because if I'm having an outbreak, I know something's off. I'm not getting enough sleep. My diet is off. I'm in a new relationship that's not good for me if it comes to dating. I'm at a job where I don't feel appreciated, because when I was having that spiritual awakening at that job, when I was starting to have those genital outbreaks, how do I put this? I was having the most outbreaks I had ever had being at that job, and I couldn't understand why. And it was my nervous system telling me, no, this place is not for you. This place is not for you. Like, leave. It's not for you. If you're not resonating here, it's gotta go. So for me, herpes made me more spiritually aware. And then again, because of the herpes and the journey through eating clean and doing things to avoid, hey Soul Rise, y'all, tapping with Soul Rise Essential. She just tapped in the room. This awesome necklace, Soul Tribe, I got from her. This is the gold version, and I've been wearing this since the day I bought it from her. I put it on, I never take it off. I wear it in the shower. Y'all tap in with Soul Rise Essentials and get y'all a nice necklace. I have a code that I'm gonna put in the bio or in the caption for you guys to use. This is a dope necklace. What's up, sis? But yeah, y'all gotta realize, y'all gotta realize that herpes will tell you about yourself. It will tell you about your surroundings. It'll tell you about your health. It'll tell you so many things. So many things. Thank you for sharing and being part of the Soul Tribe family. Of course, baby, because you know we out here bringing the sunlight. Because we got to. We got to bring them out of the... We got to get everybody out the dark, man. Got to get everybody out the dark. Got to. And that's why I say, guys, again, do not let your herpes stop you from being the best version of yourself. We do not need you to be depressed because you have herpes. 80% of the people in the world are looking just like you, dealing with the same thing. Celebrities, doctors, lawyers, business owners, a homeless person. Everyone, 80% of 7 billion people are dealing with herpes. Why are you hiding in the dark? I get not wanting to be public like myself, but don't hide from yourself and disservice yourself when you can be enjoying the same kind of life by just being yourself. Being comfortable in your being. You don't have to keep disqualifying yourself. That's what rejection really is. See, the moment when I wasn't accepting myself is when partners were just like, so am I gonna get sick? Is it bad? What am I gonna do? But the moment when I was like, I got herpes and I'm the shit, and stepped on them like, oh, I'm not gonna lie to you, I mean, I got herpes, but yeah, yeah, what's up? At that moment, that's when every single partner I attracted was on that same time, because you got to remember, your partners are your reflections. But I'm going over so many topics right now. I got to stop right now. I came on here to tell y'all my story about my herpes and how I figured out I had herpes. I hope that you guys follow me on my YouTube. The link is in the bio. I'm going to be adding all my content over there. I actually have some of my podcasts over there from when I was going through the root chakra all the way up to the crown chakra. Certain meditations and a podcast that I actually also have on all podcast platforms as well. It's called Euphoric Breath. So I want y'all to tap in with me and also listen to the Herpes or Not theme song. We got a whole song about herpes. Like, I don't want y'all out here thinking that because you have herpes that you can be loved. Since I've had herpes for the last 12 years, I found myself in more relationships that were more fruitful than the ones from before I had herpes, and more fruitful from when I was not accepting my herpes. Okay? You can find someone who loves you, and when you disclose and show a person how valuable you are by saying, first off, I have herpes, but even though I have herpes, let's go get tested so I can make sure you're safe enough for me. Because I'd be damned if we have some kind of relation and then you have an outbreak and you blame it on me, but you actually had herpes the entire time. Because that has happened. So I want you guys to be understanding that you may be a quote-unquote used car, because we like to compare ourselves to cars, Lightning McQueen, all of that kind of concept. You may be a car, but just because your car got into one accident doesn't mean that the car is not drivable and not valuable. You still have value. And that's why here, when we start this platform, which will be started up and probably on the full on up and up probably in the next 8 weeks, because I have to finish my yoga licensing. and my yoga class, my 500 hours. I will be done with that in 7 weeks. So once I finish that up, I can go ahead and deliver the whole entire, I can go ahead and deliver you guys the whole entire program. It's going to include yoga. It's going to include breath work. It's going to include meal planning. It's going to include meal prepping. Okay? I've been working on this for years. I have all my notes that I'm finally ready to turn into what I want for you guys. A wellness package. Thank you, Sunshine. Thank you. The wellness package. Thank you. Get you guys feeling well and swell because we finally made it out of hell. Okay? Look, we on the other side. Y'all see the sunshine outside. We on the other side now. Let's get on the other side of herpes. Hello. The part where we love ourselves, we feel good, we understand there are partners out here for us. There's so many herpes dating websites for you guys. And if you don't want to date someone with herpes, you can do that too. You don't have to date someone with herpes just because you have herpes. There are certain celebrities who've been getting on these herbal remedies and things. Hello. Getting on these herbal regimes and things. Wanting to cure the world and find an herbal cure because they too are going through it as well. So stop thinking that you don't have value when there's people up here that you pray, honor, love, and look at on Instagram and look at on the radio and you jam it to their music. They got it too, but they still living their life out loud. So you deserve to as well. So I cannot wait to make y'all a part of the family, or rather, I don't want to say make, but welcome you guys into my family in the next few weeks. I'm going to be building this program and I can't wait. It's going to be a premier program and it's going to be serious. It's not going to be some place where you come in and it's just, oh, I could have got this off of Google. No, we're going to be having chats like this, intimately speaking, having moments where we can, everyone come together and we just kicking back, reading books, different things, journaling, you name it, life coaching for people who need it one-on-one versus a group setting. Because I know some people still don't want other people to know that they have herpes, and that's okay. I respect that. I will talk to you on a one-on-one basis as a friend. Because y'all my friends now. We friends now. We friends. Y'all my new best friends. Period. Y'all my new best friends. So join the community. It's going to be, I think we're going to have different tiers that you guys can join at so that it's going to be affordable for everyone. Because I want y'all in my family. But I also want to know that I also want you guys to understand the value of what I'm giving. This is not something you can find everywhere. People are not going to tell you the ins and outs of their herpes story. People are not going to tell you how you can heal from your herpes without going to the doctors and getting antivirals. People are not going to tell you how to eat healthy for your herpes because they'll tell you chickpeas and quinoa all day, but they won't tell you that chickpeas and quinoa have more arginine in them than lysine. And you need lysine, amino acid, in order to basically fight off the amino acid arginine, because arginine helps build the herpes virus in your body. So if you're eating a lot of chicken, stuff like that, you're literally welcoming the virus and giving it food to continue to propagate in your body. So you can't find this value everywhere. And I can't wait to have you guys join the family with me. And more importantly, bring you guys other herpes advocates. Have them on the show. Bring you their products, bring you their knowledge, bring you their wisdom. Because they lifted me up so that I can be here to be this for you. And now I'm here to lift you guys up so that we all can join each other and be happy in herpes. I've had it since 2021. I don't like how it happened, but it's not that bad. And it let me know when I needed to practice better health. Exactly. That's the perfect part. Look, that's the truth. If I ain't never seen it before. Herpes started my spiritual journey. It said, baby, it's time for you to take accountability. Take accountability for everything that you've done thus far. And again, yes, we're going to be talking about foods too, because y'all know I've been meat free for over a year, but for the first time I went back and I ate salmon 3 times since the year began, because they say salmon actually has higher levels of lysine than arginine in it. It's a very good lysine rich food. However, I figured why not kick the virus out of my body instead of eating things to just try to cover it up. So I went back to being vegan about 2 weeks ago. So I might have had fish 3 times in the past year and a half, but I have been meat free since October last year. So it's been over a year that I've been meat free, but I'm definitely here to help you guys heal through your herpes, because you can be herpes free. You can be free having herpes and not feel judged, not feel like you don't deserve love. I got little spots popping up, took my STD test and they said negative. You think they be lying to the youth on purpose? again, did you get the actual bump swabbed, or did you get it after the bump had went away? Because see, the test that they give you test to see how many white blood cells are fighting the virus. So if you don't have white blood cells actively fighting the virus, then it's going to give you a negative. So it just depends. I see I got 3 questions down here. I'm about to get off of here soon though, guys. So let's see. How can you use, oh no, we answered that one question. So using protection, is it not safe? So using protection is not safe. And do you do yoga, and how often? So using protection is safe, right? But using protection doesn't protect your whole entire genitals from everything. Again, a man could have herpes on his scrotum, and the scrotum could touch your butt cheeks, your inner mucus lining inside of your butt cheeks. So it's not necessarily 100% safe. I'm not saying to not use protection, because that saves you from a whole bunch of other STDs that are transferred through fluids. Excuse me 1 second. Yes, baby.
Did my friends go over? They're kind of already in the house at the front door.
They can come over for 30 minutes or to an hour. 30 minutes to an hour. We'll figure it out. Okay. So yes, protection is good. It can save you from a lot of other STDs, but when it comes to herpes, it's skin to skin. So if the herpes is on someone's inner thigh or someone's scrotum, or a woman, she might have it on her mons pubis, which is like the front area where the pubic hair is. It can be anywhere. It doesn't have to just be on those whole, like, you know, it's not just on the labia minora or the labia majora for a woman, or it could be beside the clitoris. So it's just, you got to be more precautious than just a condom. You have to know your body, know your outbreaks. As Shana always says, know your triggers. But thank you, that's a good question. And how often do I do yoga currently? I do yoga. I mean, I stretch throughout the day, all day. But formal yoga, probably once every day. But I'm actually starting my training like today. So I'm going to be doing it more often, because I got to get my 500 hours in. And once that happens, I'm going to be making it. Every single day, multiple times a day. Mine's on the top of my butt. Exactly. See, and I had my first outbreak next to my rectum. So it's just letting you know, like, the protection is not going to necessarily save you. It's more so getting your partner tested. I think herpes is the thing that comes into your life when it's time to be accountable. You know, the unpopular opinion. Herpes is the thing that comes into your life when it's time. He said, I got some by my belly button. See, you know, that could just be ingrown hair too. It doesn't have to necessarily be herpes. You could just have ingrown prone hair. You might just have folliculitis, as they said. But yeah. I would say that herpes is the thing that comes into your life when it's time to be more accountable. When it's time to really look inside yourself and say, am I out here for lust, or am I out here for love? What do I really want to focus on? Because see, when I tell my partners I have herpes and I look at their reaction, it lets me know whether they're interested in dating me, fucking me, or wanting to marry me based on the reaction. So I feel like I said, herpes is my spiritual navigation and my protection. Because I got herpes. Or I got herpes. Oh, okay. Tell me more. Like, how do I make sure we're both safe? Or I got herpes. So can we have sex? Like, you know, those different responses will let you know who you're dealing with. And then based on how they respond, it lets you know what level you're at with yourself. Take accountability for the people you attract. But again, these are topics for other days. I can't give y'all all the topics in one day. It's so many different topics that we get to touch when we go ahead and join this community. So I can't wait to have you guys be a part of the community, be a part of the whole entire family, be a part of the meal planning, meal prepping, the yoga-ing, the breath working, the journaling, the book reading, the knowledge expanding. This is going to be a whole entire university to help you guys transition out of that yucky feeling with herpes.